Ladies and gentlemen, now let me tell y'all something, and I want you to hear me real good. Men are simple creatures, but don't mistake simple for easy. A man's heart might look tough on the outside, but the truth is, it doesn't take much to melt him down. You don't need magic. You don't need tricks. Sometimes all you need is the right word at the right time. And when it comes from the woman he cares about, Lord have mercy, that man will go crazy for you. You know, people don't always understand how powerful words can be. Folks run around saying anything thinking it doesn't matter. But let me tell you something. What you call a man can change the way he carries himself. One word, one nickname said at the right time can flip a whole man's spirit around. See, the key note here is respect. You take respect away from a man and you'll watch him shrink. But you put respect into his life, especially from the woman he loves, and that man will grow 10 feet tall. Respect is the fuel that drives him. And if you learn how to give it, you will see sides of him you didn't even know existed. Now, let me break this down because a lot of ladies think respect means being quiet or letting him have his way. That's not it at all. Respect is not about silence. It's about recognition. When you give him a nickname that shows you see who he is, that you see his strength, his effort, his worth, you are giving him respect in the sweetest form. It's not about baby or honey. Anybody can call him that. It's about giving him a name that makes him feel like a king in your eyes. You whisper that at the right time, and he'll start walking like he owns the world. Because deep down, every man wants to feel like he matters, like what he does is noticed. I've seen men come home tired, worn out, beat down from the world. Out there, people might ignore him. Bosses might talk down to him. Bills piling up, responsibilities weighing heavy. But the moment he walks in that house and the woman he loves looks at him and calls him by that special name, everything changes. His shoulders loosen up. His spirit lifts. He feels like somebody sees him. That's respect in action. It's not money. It's not gifts. It's not long speeches. It's that little reminder that says, I believe in you. And when a man feels that, you don't even have to ask for his loyalty. He's going to give it to you freely. See, ladies, here's the truth about men. We don't always say it, but we're built to lead, to provide, to protect. But that drive doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from being fueled by the respect of the woman who stands beside us. You can nag him all day, you can push him, but that's only going to make him resist. You give him respect, though, and you'll watch him move mountains. That nickname becomes more than just a word. It becomes a crown. Every time he hears it, he remembers who he's supposed to be, and he will fight to live up to it. You don't even know the power you've got in your mouth. Sometimes just one soft word can do more for a man than a whole motivational speech. He might not tell you, but he craves it. He wants to feel like he's your protector, your rock, your number one. And when you honor him with respect, through the words you choose, he will bend over backwards to keep that position. That's why I say respect is everything. It's not complicated, but it's essential. I'll give you an example. Let's say you call him champ. That word right there says, you're my winner no matter what the world says. Even if they had the roughest day, when you call him that, he feels like he still came home with a victory. Or you call him king. Now, that man might not have a throne. He might not even feel royal. But when you crown him with that nickname, he's going to start acting like royalty in your life. That's what respect does. It brings out the best version of a man. So when I say give him this nickname and he will go crazy for you. I'm really saying give him respect in a way that nobody else can. Not through long speeches, not through arguments, not through demands, just through that little word that tells him he's valued, honored, and seen. Respect is the foundation, the heartbeat of a man's love. You give it, and I promise he'll give you everything he's got. People underestimate how powerful a woman's words can be. They think love is all about what you do for a man, cooking for him, supporting him, being there for him. But let me tell you something. A man can get food anywhere. He can get company anywhere. But what he cannot get everywhere is the way a woman makes him feel with her words. One word from you can change his whole mood, his whole mindset, even his whole life. That's why I say the right nickname can drive a man crazy for you, not because of the sound of it, but because of the message it carries. And the first thing that message must have is respect. A man needs respect more than almost anything else. He might act tough, but deep down, he is fragile when it comes to how he's seen by the woman he loves. You want to know why some men walk around with their heads down? It's because they feel disrespected. Out in the world, maybe his boss don't value him. Maybe people overlook him. Maybe life keeps knocking him down. But when he comes home, if his woman calls him by a name that lifts him up, suddenly he feels like he matters again. Respect is oxygen to a man. Without it, he'll suffocate. With it, he'll run through fire. So when you call him something like king or boss or champ, what you're really doing is putting respect on his name in a way the world never does. And believe me, he's going to hold on to the person who gives him that breath of life. But respect by itself isn't enough. The second thing that nickname must carry is admiration. Let me explain this, because people confuse admiration with flattery. Flattery is shallow. You can flatter a man all day, tell him he looks good, tell him he's smart, but if it doesn't come from a place of truth, he knows. Admiration is different. Admiration says, I see you, I see what you do, how hard you work, how much you carry, and I value it. That's the fuel that makes a man give you everything he has. You call him something that makes him feel like your hero, and that man will fight battles you don't even know about just to keep living up to that name. See, ladies, here's what men won't tell you. Underneath all that toughness, every man has a little boy inside who just wants to hear, I'm proud of you. He won't admit it, but he craves it. When you give him a nickname that carries admiration, it tells him you're proud without even saying the words. It could be as simple as calling him my rock, because now he knows you see him as your protector. Or calling him my champ, because now he feels like he's already won just by having you in his life. That's not just cute talk. That's a deep connection that strengthens his spirit. Put respect and admiration together, and you've got something powerful. Respect says, I honor you. Admiration says, I'm proud of you. Those two messages combined are like fire and gasoline. The more you give them, the stronger he burns for you. You'll watch him stand taller, work harder, love deeper, because now he feels like he's not just surviving, he's leading, he's winning, he's loved. And the woman who gives him that's the woman he'll never want to let go of. So when I say give him this nickname and he'll go crazy for you, what I really mean is give him respect and admiration wrapped up in a word that belongs to you and him alone. That's the kind of power that doesn't fade, because every time he hears it, He remembers who he is to you. And he'll fight every day to stay that man. Most people don't realize just how much power a woman has when it comes to the words she uses. You can buy a man things, you can cook for him, you can support him, but none of that goes as deep as the way you make him feel with your words. One nickname, just one word spoken at the right time can light a fire in him that no one else can touch. And the truth is, when it comes to nicknames that stick, there are three powerful forces at play: respect, admiration, and emotional connection. When a man gets all three from you, he will not just like you, he will go crazy for you. Respect is the foundation. A man can't breathe without it. You can love him, you can hug him, you can do all the sweet things in the world, but if he feels disrespected, he shuts down. Respect is what makes him feel like a man. Out there in the world, he might feel small, like nobody sees him. His boss might talk down to him. His struggles might weigh heavy on him. But when he walks through the door and hears you call him something that lifts him up, suddenly his spirit comes alive again. A nickname like king or boss isn't just playful. It's you saying, I see you, I value you, I honor who you are. And when a man feels that kind of respect, he will never forget the one who gave it to him. Now, respect feeds his pride, but admiration feeds his soul. And here's where a lot of people miss it. Flattery is not admiration. Anybody can say, oh, you're handsome or you're smart, but admiration goes deeper. Admiration says, I see your effort. I see what you sacrifice. I see how you keep pushing. A man lives for that acknowledgement. When you call him by a name that carries admiration, you are telling him you are my hero. You're not just making him smile. You're giving him a reason to keep fighting when life gets heavy. You might call him my rock, and suddenly he feels solid and dependable in your eyes. You might call him my champ, and suddenly every battle feels worth it because at least one person sees him as a winner. That's the power of admiration. It makes a man want to rise even higher for the woman who believes in him. But here's the third piece, and this one takes everything to another level: emotional connection. You see, most men walk around acting tough, but deep down, every man wants to feel chosen. He wants to feel like he is set apart, like he has a place in your heart no one else can touch. That's what a special nickname does. It becomes private, intimate, a language only the two of you share. That's why it drives him crazy, because out there, the world might call him by his title, his first name, or his role. But when you call him by that nickname, it tells him he's more than all that. It says, you belong to me and I belong to you. That's not just a word. That's intimacy. That's connection without even touching. And it's powerful. Put those three together: respect, admiration, and emotional connection, and you've got a combination that will light a man up like nothing else. Respect tells him you honor him. Admiration tells him you're proud of him. And emotional connection tells him he's chosen by you. When you give a man all three through the nickname you call him, you're not just speaking to his ears, you're speaking to his heart. That's when you'll see him stand taller, work harder, love deeper, and fight to keep you in his life. Because the woman who gives him that kind of power with just her words is the woman he will never want to lose. People think relationships are complicated, but the truth is, when it comes to men, it's not as hard as folks make it out to be. Men are simple in their needs, but they're deep in their feelings. You don't have to bend over backwards trying to figure him out. Sometimes all it takes is a word, one nickname spoken with the right spirit can change how he sees himself and how he sees you. It's not about the sound of the word, it's about what that word carries. And when that nickname carries respect, admiration, emotional connection, and consistency, you'll see a man give you a side of himself nobody else gets to see. Respect is always the starting point. A man cannot thrive without it. He can live without money for a while. He can survive without comfort, but he cannot stand tall if he feels disrespected. Out in the world, life is always trying to tear him down. His boss might ignore him. His dreams might feel out of reach, and his burdens may be heavy. But when he comes home and hears that nickname that says, "You are my king, you are my man," suddenly his shoulders lift, his chest expands, and he feels like somebody again. Respect is oxygen. It's the thing that makes him want to rise up, and the woman who gives him that will always have his loyalty. But respect alone isn't enough. What fuels him even deeper is admiration. See, men don't always say it, but they crave to feel admired. Not flattered, not lied to, but truly admired for who they are and what they do. A nickname that carries admiration says, "I see your effort. I see how hard you try. I see how you keep standing even when life knocks you down. You call him my rock, and he'll feel like he has a purpose to stand strong for you. You call him my champ, and even if he lost every battle that day, he'll feel like he came home a winner." That's what admiration does. It pushes him to keep fighting because he knows at least one person is proud of him. Now add emotional connection to that, and you've got intimacy on another level. A man wants to feel chosen. He might not say it out loud, but he needs to know that in your heart he is one of one, not one of many. A special nickname becomes your private language with him. It's something the world can't touch. Out there, everybody calls him by his first name, his job title, or whatever label he carries. But when you call him by that name that belongs only to you, he feels like he belongs to you too. That's more than affection. That's bonding. That's the string that ties his heart to yours. And it doesn't matter how strong or tough he acts. When you give him that emotional connection through your words, he will melt every time. And then comes consistency, the glue that makes it stick. It's not enough to throw that nickname around when you want something or when times are good. A man knows when words are real. If you're only using it here and there, he might think you're playing games. But when you consistently honor him with that name, it becomes a part of the bond you share. It turns into a reminder that he can count on you, that no matter what he faces out there, there's one place he can come back to and still feel like a king. Consistency is what makes that word powerful because it turns a moment into a habit and a habit into a bond. So when you put all four together, respect, admiration, emotional connection, and consistency, you've got something unstoppable. You're not just calling him by a nickname. You're building his confidence, his pride, his intimacy with you, and his trust in your love. And when a man gets all of that wrapped up in one word, believe me, he's going to go crazy for the woman who gave it to him. People keep trying to figure out what men really want like it's some big mystery. But I'll tell you something that a lot of folks miss. Men may not always say it out loud, but deep down, we are moved by the little things. And one of the most powerful little things you can do is give him a nickname that means something. It ain't just a word, it's a message. That message can build him up, fuel him, and make him fall harder for you than you ever imagined. And when that nickname carries respect, admiration, emotional connection, consistency, and the right timing, you'll see a man go absolutely crazy for you. Respect is the first thing, because without it, nothing else matters. A man will not survive long in a space where he feels disrespected. Out there in the world, he's constantly battling. He may not tell you about it, but he feels the pressure. His boss may not appreciate him. His dreams may seem too far. People may overlook him. But when he walks through the door and you call him something that lifts him up, my king, my protector, my champ, he feels like he's somebody again. That respect is not about bowing down to him. It's about recognizing who he is to you. And when you give him that, you put wind back in his sails. But respect has to be paired with admiration. That's what really fuels a man's soul. Every man is secretly searching for that one person who notices his effort, not just the results, but the grind, the sacrifices, the weight he carries. A nickname that shows admiration says, I see you, I see how hard you work, I see how you keep going. When you call him my rock, you're telling him he's steady, dependable, strong. When you call him my champ, you're telling him he's already won in your eyes. And even if he feels like he failed out there in the world, you give him a reason to believe he's still valuable. That kind of admiration makes him want to rise even higher, because a man will fight harder for the woman who believes in him. Then comes emotional connection, and this is where it goes deeper than pride or admiration. Every man wants to feel chosen. He can be respected at work, admired by his friends, but what he really craves is that one person who makes him feel set apart. A nickname does that. It becomes your private language, your intimate signal that he's not just anybody, he's your somebody. The world might call him by his name or his title, but when you whisper that special name, he knows he belongs to you in a way no one else can touch. That kind of connection doesn't fade and it doesn't get replaced, because it's tied to the bond only the two of you share. But none of this works without consistency. You can't just throw it around when it benefits you or use it once in a while like a trick. Men can tell when you're being genuine. The real power of a nickname comes when you use it consistently, because then it becomes part of the relationship, part of his identity with you. Every time you use it, it reminds him he's valued, respected, admired, and connected. And the more consistent you are, the deeper that bond becomes. And then timing. Timing is everything. You can say the same word 100 times, but when you say it at the right moment, it hits different. A man could be broken down, stressed, doubting himself, ready to give up. That's the moment you call him by that name, and suddenly he feels strength again. Or he might be celebrating, standing tall, and you call him that name, and it makes his victory even sweeter because he knows you see him. The right word at the right time can make a man run through walls for you. When you bring these five together, respect, admiration, emotional connection, consistency, and timing, you've got more than a nickname. You've got a key that unlocks his heart and makes him want to love you harder, protect you stronger, and stay with you forever. People always make men sound complicated, like we're some puzzle nobody can solve. But the truth is, men are simple. We might look tough, we might act like nothing gets to us, but deep down, we're fragile when it comes to the way we're seen by the woman we love. And one of the simplest but most powerful ways to reach a man's heart is through the words you call him. A nickname may sound small, but it carries weight. And when it's built on respect, admiration, emotional connection, consistency, timing, and ownership, that nickname can drive a man absolutely crazy for you. Respect is where it all begins. A man can't breathe without it. Out in the world, people might not notice him, his boss might overlook him, and life may beat him down, but when he comes home and hears you call him king or champ, it changes everything. That little word says, I see you, I honor you, and that respect fills him up more than money or status ever could. But respect by itself isn't enough. A man also craves admiration. That's not the same as flattery. Flattery is shallow, but admiration says, I notice your effort, I'm proud of what you do, and I value how you carry yourself. When you give him a name that shows admiration, like my rock or my hero, you tell him he matters. Even on his worst day, he feels like he's already won because you see him that way. Now, mix that with emotional connection and it becomes even more powerful. A nickname isn't just a word, it's a bond. It's your private language, something the world doesn't have access to. Everyone else calls him by his regular name, but when you use that special word, it tells him he belongs to you. It's intimacy without even touching, because it reminds him he's chosen by you in a way no one else can claim. But here's the thing, it only works if you're consistent. If you say it once in a while, just when you want something, it loses its meaning. Men can sense when words are empty, but when you use it with sincerity over and over, it becomes part of the rhythm of your relationship. Every time you call him by that name, it reinforces the respect, admiration, and connection. That consistency is what makes it stick deep in his heart. And then there's timing, which can take a simple word and turn it into pure power. Say it when he's broken down, when he's doubting himself, when the world has stripped him of confidence. That's when it means the most. Or say it when he's on top of the world and it magnifies the victory. The right word at the right moment can lift a man higher than anything else. Timing turns that nickname into fuel. And finally, ownership. This is the part that makes it yours and yours alone. Don't let everybody else call him that. A special nickname should belong to you because then it becomes sacred. It's not just a word he hears. It's a reminder of who he belongs to and who truly knows him. When that name comes from your mouth, it carries a weight no one else can copy. And that sense of ownership, that exclusivity, is what makes him go wild for you. Put all six together: respect, admiration, emotional connection, consistency, timing,